Hey folks, I actually hit record just in time to have to clean my glasses. I'm absolutely having a Kim moment here. Everything else I've done today has not really required me to think about that, but as soon as I sat down in front of the screen and the sun came through the window in exactly the right way, I could see exactly how many smears were between me and what I needed to do. Speaking of what I needed to do, besides wander around drunk, I do have the money to buy some books. All right, welcome to books. I guess at some point I could also check the task list. All right. What have we here? Shelf of paranormal books. This bookstore is not strictly about crime, romance, and biographies of famous people. There's also a wide range of paranatural literature. Storekeep, what books are these?
Sir, please, no browsing in that shelf. That wisdom is not for free. I can't have you end up like opening a police store next door and stealing my customers. Oh, no.
All right, look through the shelf. Amidst the various books, you find one written by someone named Matthias W. Dunda. It's about wholeness, unity, balance. These three things are very important to the working class mind. The point of the book, and many others on this shelf, is to give people medicinal advice in situations where they don't have access to paid health services. Did I mention we're playing this in 2020? How does that work? It serves platitudes while also telling everyone that traditional medicine, the kind people don't have access to, and which costs more than this book, is garbage and would only give you cancer anyway, without even curing your cold or anything. Wholeness, unity, balance, on the other hand, can basically take care of anything. Though it is important to note, when it's up to your mind to heal yourself, then it's because of your mind that you're ill in the first place. And it's your own fault if you're ill. Got it? All right. Say anything else? The book features chapters on such topics as how to find magnesium and even lists plants you can harvest magnesium from, how to continue drinking if you're an alcoholic who has destroyed his liver, and there's even a chapter on the... Hold up, there's also a how to continue drink... No, don't look back, Harry. There's even a chapter on the ancient Surrey tradition of using duck gallbladder preservatives to treat and prevent sexually transmitted diseases. Pre- and post-factum apply. Nothing worth buying. This is just mundane garbage. What's even paranatural about this? The throbbing in your head increases with every passing moment that you gaze at this shelf. Suddenly, as if out of nowhere, a small green book becomes apparent. The title of it reads, Medicinal Purposes of the Pale. What's this about? The book contains descriptions of various pseudo-scientific therapies, alternative medicines, and folk remedies involving the pale, also known as le terroir. For example, it recommends vigorously swatting one's naked body with a venique, or hand brew, made from the leafy twigs of a young birch tree from the near pale. So we can play as the flagellant in the butcher circus? Even better if you can find someone else, preferably a large man dressed in nothing but a towel to thrash you while you're spread naked and helpless on a cool slab. What? Okay. Sounds painful. It is supposedly invigorating and good for the circulation. What else? It also recommends consuming distilled spirits like vodka or whiskey that have been aged in the pail. Readers are instructed to cover these jars in a shallow hole just inside the pail and leave them there for 30 to 60 days, depending on the potency desired. So what does that do? Among other benefits, it is alleged to restore a damaged liver to perfect health. How's that possible? Is it any more improbable than anything else the human beings have put their faith in? All right, what else is in there? For general health and well-being, readers are encouraged to take regular strolls through the pale, though a sidebar cautions readers to limit each stroll to less than an hour. These strolls promise to cleanse the mind of worries and the bodies of toxins, especially if the perambulator performs this ritual in the nude. Nudity figures prominently in a number of these descriptions. Who knew? This is exactly what you need. I don't know about that. Anything else of note? There's an entire section devoted to cures for men who are struggling to perform their marital obligations. Yeah, sure, we'll see what happens.
Excuse me, sir. I believe you've been perusing that particular volume long enough. If you'd like to continue reading it, then I must insist that you buy it.
Buy it? Ooh.
Excuse me, sir. What are you buying?
Maybe. What about this? Several maps. Ah, yes, we have gone through the maps. Recently, in fact. Give me that. A quaint picture book brochure. Very colorful. From A to Zrik, a guide to a well-behaved cockatoo. A sulfur-crested cockatoo sits on the cover, its beak slightly open. It looks as if the bird is calling out the book title. From A to Zrik, a guide to a well-behaved cockatoo. So this is making me think of the bird meme where one bird is trying to say something and the blue jay comes out of nowhere yelling and completely covering up the first bird that just starts to look angry. I'd say wasn't there a webcomic like this, but wasn't there a webcomic like everything? Flip through the pages. Turns out there are so many different cockatoo species, and they all have behavioral problems. You don't have behavioral problems. That's garbage. You're cool. What about this guide?
It's a must-have if you own a cockatoo. I've heard they're quite capricious.
This is what happens when Kim's not here. We do dumb things like leave that jacket on. There's 2 interfacing, and that's probably all we need to get up to the max. Oh, I forgot I was wearing that crap. Ugh. Isolary? Isolary. Sure. I don't think I have anything else that is interfacing spécifiquement. Kim, you can't correct my awful pronunciation and or fake word. You're not here. Yeah, see, rubber gloves. Things that already go in slots that I'm using. Right in the coat. You wait for the shopkeeper to be distracted. When she's not looking, you haul the tome of cockatoos into your pocket. It's quite a challenge, but eventually the guide to cockatoos is yours. Splendid effort. Oh no! I'm never going to get to tell that woman what kind of cockatoo I am. It's a tome of fascist magic. Rather candid. But everyone knows the most interesting thing about the fascists was their magic. Because the fascists have the outfits. But the communists have the music. Or so they might be giants would tell me. The plaque on the shelf reads, Biographies of Famous People. You see a large variety of names, none of which ring a bell. You will attain a place on this shelf one day. Or die trying. Look through the display. Browsing through all the books with all their names makes all your head spin. None of these seem important or relevant. It's just vapid egoism. Suddenly, a particularly odd title catches your eye. It reads, High Speed Love, the tragic true love story of Jacob Ur and Alfie Delatraz by one Cecilia Averbrook. What's it about? High Speed Love chronicles the romance between 2 of the finest tip-top tourney racers in history. One of them is the madcap driver Jacob Ur. His blonde mane graces the cover. Next to Ur's life story, you see a slim biography of an Occidental rock star called the Anti-Star. He's famous for shooting morphine into one of his eyeballs and cocaine in the other. Next to that, the radio personality Guillaume Bevy stands in front of a rundown drug den. He's a permanent fixture on Channel 8. The Ocho, reporting on real-life crime and ruining cops' days.
I really must insist you buy one of the books.
You're interrupted by the shopkeep.
Reading them is not for free. Do browse, though, but not too long.
She understands she has erred against the customer and immediately corrects course.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to rush you. You are browsing. Go ahead. Take your time.
Time is money, friend.
Is there anything of note on this shelf? I would say The Greatest Innocence, yes, most certainly. It's a great educational tool, important, delving into the depths of history, religion, and the relation to innocentic power.
Who or what is an innocent?
A very influential historical figure, but surely I don't have to tell you that. You're a law officer, and law officers have at least some education. The book is also very daring. The author aims to reimagine the universal understandings of the innocentic system, creating a fresh vantage point and a shift in the tired order of things. I thought it was about which of these innocents is the coolest and greatest. Perhaps for a layman, deep analysis is necessary to peel back the multi-layered meanings.
So you recommend it?
Certainly. It's prudent for a person to have at least an elementary understanding of history and society. Imagine the chaos we'd be in otherwise.
You feel like you should get this one. Definitely. It's important somehow. There's something personal inside. Ooh. We should. Because story, but don't know if we're gonna. Money is kind of limited for the rest of the game because we sold all the bottles. These shelves are overburdened with books from the same series. You see the name Dick Mullen over and over. A couple spook novels hide amongst all the detective books, thrilling tales of spycraft and daring do. Let's take a look. Crime fiction is a disgrace. It was a mistake, an asinine misrepresentation of the physical attributes and the arduous Have a drink of water. Calm down. Language is hard sometimes, folks. And the arduous everyday work of actual police officers. These books greatly overstate the excitement of police work, glossing over how long it actually takes to follow up on leads and eliminate dead ends. Furthermore, they have no idea how hard it is to simply remove a body from a tree. Yeah, I know, right? What's more, they completely ignore the psychological hardships of year after year coming into contact with people during the worst days of their lives. Not a single mention of all the stress this work creates upon the officer's family. Detective fiction just doesn't tell the truth at all. Now, would you like a list of the books found on the shelf? Sure. You see, Dick Mullen on the Job, Get Me Mullen, the stalwart adventures of Richard P. Mullen, Dick Mullen and the Murder in the Orchard, the sordid affair of Dick Mullen. A killing is declared, Dick Mullen in the Murder House, the final case of Dick Mullen, an obvious lie. Dick Mullen in the Clock Tower, ooh, that one's a Capcom one, right? The Ordeals of Dick Mullen, Dauntless Dick, Dick Mullen's Funeral Pyre, the murder of Dick Mullen. Dick Mullen dies? Yeah, I was jumping ahead to that, which is why that started with D. Oh, no. Turns out he faked it to solve a case. Are there any more? Yes, there's also The Dame Who Did It, Farewell, My Mullen. Faking death seems to be a common trope in the Mullen series. The Morbid Tales of Dick Mullen, A Dark Tide Turns. Tragedy Calls for Dick Mullen, another one with fake death. And Dick Mullen, the Murderer. In order to catch a murderer, Dick Mullen must become the murderer. After all this, you still haven't found the answer to the one question that matters. Who is Dick Mullen? Your quick eye notices a small caterpillar crawling across the spine of a book. The title reads, Dick Mullen, The Mistaken Identity. Huh? A worn paperback from Dick Mullen's classic hard-boiled phase. The premise seems to be that Dick Mullen is framed for the murder of his best friend and has just a few days to prove his innocence. Why does this speak to me? Could be the motifs of unstable identities and shocking betrayals? No. Perhaps you're drawn to the dark and noirish atmosphere? I don't think so. Is it because the smoking dame in the slinky red dress on the cover is giving you a hard-on? No, that's definitely not what's happening. Yes, it is. The bulge in your pants is embarrassingly obvious. Relax. It's not that bad. It's the pleats. The pleats in the pant. You're wearing jeans. Shit. It's not that bad. Also, this means that your blood flow is returning to normal. Good news, really. Quit staring. You're in public. There's plenty of time for that. Nope. Storekeep, what's all the crime fiction? Oh, crime, robberies, murders, even sexual crimes. We're fortunate to have Dick Mullen and all his stories to sort all that out. You're a police officer, apparently. You should buy all of these. They really do teach a person how to be a proper detective. Sex crimes did pique your interest. You, really? But still, this Dick Mullen person only gets your pleasure centers down. I even gave a thumbs up when a thumbs down when I said that, even though nobody can see it. Okay.
Hello again, esteemed.
This book collects the national recipes of Arda. They are all about lake trout. I am not surprised. Alright. Old sports magazines tucked away in a dark corner. Cool. The display rack is brimming with worn paperbacks featuring extremely muscular, sword-wielding barbarian on the cover. Nearly all the titles contain the word Heimdall somewhere. This is entirely, completely you. You have found the right books! Calm down there, coach. Wow, more Heimdall. Mountains of it. Heroic quantities of Heimdall. Roy's puny shirt is nothing compared to the real deal. Alright, look through the display. Man, I'm gonna take a big drink of water for this one. Rows and rows of Heimdallermen blur through your vision. You make up some titles. Man from Heimdall and the Mammoth Riders. Man from Heimdall, Return to Heimdall. And the solipsistic Man from Heimdall and the Heimdall Man. Good God, how many are there? Maybe 100? Man from Heimdall and the Sages of the End of the World. Man from Heimdall and the False God. Man from Heimdall and the Scorched Earth. Man from Heimdall, the Heimdall Colonies. Man from Heimdall and the Swamp Beast. Man from Heimdall and the Snow Crabs. Those snow crabs are worse than they sound. Is that all? Of course not, even close. Man from Heimdall in Hell. Man from Heimdall in the Forest of Slaves. Man from Heimdall under the lake. Man from Heimdall, Heimdall Burning. There's even The Trial of Death, a pastoral combat game book set in the world of Heimdallermen, and so much more. Do any of these call out to me? A twinge at the back of your head makes you flinch. Your eye starts twitching. Ow! Your hand reaches toward a book with a glossy cover out of the very muscular Man from Heimdall, in chains, kneeling in front of a staircase leading to a throne. A woman sits on the throne, leering at the man. She's laughing at him, belittling him. Between the throne and the Heimdallerman lies a bonfire casting shadows on the wall. The shadow of the woman's headdress looks like a pair of devil horns. The title reads, Man from Heimdall and the Devil Woman. No. Interesting. The display rack before you is burdened under piles of Man from Heimdall novels. I'm sworn to carry your burdens. Nope, not yet. Gift books and molten candy. All right, we got to go to my favorite table in the store. Mountain of board games! A small mountain of colorful board game boxes. There are numerous types of games for all ages. A lot of shelf space seems to be taken up by Whirl-related merchandise. Look through the pile of Whirl-related items. An endless variety of source books, lore books, codices litter the table. The topmost book is titled Welkin Compendium, 2nd edition. There's also a large hardbound tome with intricate cover art, The Hunters of Katwak, Boreal Creature Compendium, and a Pick Your Path adventure game book titled Tales of Whirl, Cavern of Velkrag. Anything else that really catches my eye? Well, there's a box that says Whirl, 3rd edition mega setting supplements module. A side panel notes, a fantastique adventure board game. New maps and miniatures. A sticker on it displays 25 real. Cripes. It's steep, but it is a 3rd edition mega setting supplement, so it makes sense. Nonsense for anemic binoculars. Storekeep, what board games do you have here?
Wonderful board game, sir. The Viticulturist is a classic for sure, or perhaps you'd like Not Settlers of Catan, the Archipelagos of Insulinda, a very educational game for those interested in geography. Robritter is a fun game of economic competition, but can get quite intense after a while. It's absolutely not Carcassonne. We have games for the whole family. You can even play with your children.
Who are you going to play board games with? Do you have friends or family? I have children? A family? It certainly feels that whatever you are will die with you. Sure, I'm gonna pretend. Kids, friends, chicks, I have all those.
Then you're a lucky man, officer. Children are the greatest of treasures.
She fiddles with her pendant, thinking.
For playing with friends, I'd recommend Suzerainty. It's a civilization building game where you build a civilization, then set off to brutally colonize and repress other civilizations. It costs 12 real.
So what about all these Royale things?
Lousy auras there. No. Role-playing games are popular amongst those types. You know, those who are into those sorts of things. Personally, I don't like it, not at all. I've heard they turn people into occult enthusiasts, that they have rituals where they try to summon entities, highly immoral stuff. You could still buy them, though.
You mean rituals like covering a door in Semini's wards and wearing a bird skull on a pendant?
Shut up, officer! That's most of our money, though.
All right, so there are goals that I still have in my head for things that I want to do in this game, but I'm not going to be able to do them all in this playthrough. I've had to come to accept this. Let us read. Cockatoo Book. A book about different cockatoo species and their behavioral problems. Perhaps it could also offer some insight into your own often problematic actions. The spectacular Major Majestic cockatoo eyes you from the cover. That is some serious hair. A cockatoo is a parrot with an erectile crest found in the 17 Islands and in southern Fesselimer. Known for their intelligence and general precociousness, cockatoos are popular birds in aviculture. However, they often exhibit various behavioral issues. Okay, what more? The book talks about the delicate nature of twos, as well as introducing some of the most popular species amongst the bird enthusiasts. The funeral cockatoo, the Major Majestic cockatoo, and the common bang cockatoo. It's colorfully illustrated. What problems do these birds have? Where to begin? All cockatoos are known for their needy natures, requiring water again. This is happening more the longer I have to talk in a day. Who knew? Requiring attention for at least 2 full hours a day. They love to talk and have described as lovable clowns who just don't know how to wrap up. I could handle that. It'd be nice to have someone to talk to when I'm feeling lonely. Pet owners also report moodiness, loudness, and hostility as recurring issues. If left unsatisfied, cockatoos may scream nonstop, pluck their feathers, or become aggressive. All right, that's pretty bad. Anything else? It is not recommended to get a cockatoo if you're not able to cook them food every day and give them the full care that they need. These birds will never understand that you have a life of your own. This sounds like it's got some heavy-handed metaphors in there. There's got to be something great about cockatoos as well. You're right, cockatoos are magnificent creatures. They love to perform, cuddle, and show off, and will even scream for fun, often as loud as up to 135 decibels. How? Yeah, that does hurt. Not great for the neighbors. Let's read about the funeral cockatoo. This is a yellow-tailed black cockatoo. Its specific name, Psittacus funereus, I don't know, relates to its dark and somber plumage. This bird looks as if dressed for a funeral 24/7. There is something indisputably ominous about it. Cool. How about the major majestic? Perhaps the most impressive of all the species. The endangered major majestic cockatoo is often described as the most flamboyant bird in the jungle. Its pink-colored wings and flowing crest embellishing its proud and bumptious nature. Bumptious? In the words of poet-explorer Sir James Fournier, few birds more enliven the monotonous hues of the verdant forest than this big, bold, and beautiful species. It must be glorious to behold, dark pink and snow white. What about the common bang-bang cockatoo? Despite its bangin' name, the bang-bang cockatoo is actually the shyest of the species. Common in almost all Seminoles forests, as well as zoos and homes all over the home, its plumage is mainly gray and white. The Seminoles name bang-bang is thought to be of onomatopoeic origins. What does sound a little like me? What if I'm just a fuck-up and a cockatoo? I like that, but... Alright, I guess what we're doing is like Sorry Cop, Superstar Cop, Apocalypse Cop, and Boring Cop? I don't know, can I get to my log? 15-2-8-5 versus Major Majestic, here I come. You're right, your majesty embodied. This big, beautiful bird belongs on your heraldry. 16, haha. Okay. Put the book away. All right, we are a fuck-up-a-two. Now, normally that would give us a kind of a subtask. Oh, hello. To tell her what kind of cockatoo we are, but she's not coming back, folks. Thought complete. The homosexual underground. Maybe you should stop obsessing about your own and other people's sexuality. Feels like it's about time to do that. You've thought about this now for 8 hours. Not only should you stop, you should tell Kim you've stopped obsessing about other people's sexuality too. I'm sure he'd appreciate it. Unless you already got him killed because you were obsessing about your sexuality. There's no way of telling from within your brain, but for your own sake, please say you didn't. Stopped obsessing about sexuality. That's the only benefit of this thought. It is entirely story-based. What's it do? Well, you'll see tomorrow. I knew I'd get to use this mailbox for something. Other than kicking? You were right. Dang. At some point, I'm going to start passing those checks, and I can use that as a health font. Or do what? No, I already determined it only gives you health the first time you do it. Dang. Alright. Kuno, I was going to buy those pants from you, but it's becoming increasingly obvious that I am not going to be able to...
Kuno saw your wheel backhand, so he can afford to wash it, Kuno likes that delinquent shit.
Yeah? You like art, Kuno? Fuck no! Art shit! Write in an imaginary notebook. Alright, got it. Art is shit. That's right, pig! Shit! So I was going to buy these. Oh, wow, that's actually good bonuses. Because originally the plan was to get a full suit of fawn gear. But those sneakers are what, 50? I'm not going to get that before the end of the game. And that would put me into constant upgrade debt of, well, I kind of want to buy a book. I kind of want to do this. I kind of want to study that. But I have to save 50 real that I'm just not going to get. I think that also would get him unperturbed with us and give us that empathy check back. Maybe? I don't know. Have I got anything else about any of these things? No. Alright, fine. I don't remember getting the empathy check on this one. Maybe I got a different check to separate the two, but there's supposed to be a thing that identifies why he's always in the third person. Oh, right, that's not a button. We're not doing karaoke without Kim here. Karaoke is an evening thing. Oh yeah, how's that working out? So, as noted, folks, notice that I am, according to the game, right now sober. I still have a +1 from smokes and still have a +1 from the Goresis brew alcohol. Something to keep in mind in your own personal playthroughs. I believe the other skills that up things for double cost, whether it is alcohol through the fascist subthought or psyche through the don't remember thought. One of them works like this and the other one doesn't work at all. I couldn't tell you which is which. If you're really concerned about min-maxing your play, look at it ahead of time. We are not talking to any of these people while we are flying solo. Really, I kind of want to charge those things, but I also kind of don't. Anything with Glacia, I'd rather do with Kim here. So that might just leave us to study some case files. I am not 100% sure. At least that's easy. Thought you were supposed to be cleaned up. Wait. I'm not supposed to be in here. I haven't paid yet for today. Have I? No, I'm almost certain I have not. All right. Let's get to it. Let's learn who we were before we forgot. Read a case file. The Next World mural. Takes about a half hour. Okay. This one is relatively easy to reconstruct. Overnight on 1202, a graffito, nay, a mural, appears on an 8-story tenement building overlooking central Jamra. The building is a sparsely inhabited ghost tower, part of a failed real estate development called Grand Coron. Cause of failure? Rent too high. The mural is enormous. 2 silhouettes, a man and a woman, are kissing. The text cut into their forms reads, "True love is possible only in the next world. For new people. It's too late for us. Wreak havoc on the middle class." People call it that thing and that fucking thing. Showing just how inventive they are. It's visible for miles. For 2 days, the station's complaints desk gets clogged with requests to remove the bummer. My phone rings in the background. You and your partner are assigned to the case. I said hang up. There we go. The Graffito crew is easy to track down. Only the Belles Lettres have the literage of industrial paint to cover the surface. One of the Graffito artists is rumored to be rich. They take responsibility for the execution, but not the design. The ideologue of the Next World mural, as the crew calls it, remains an unknown. Do I ever find out who came up with it? The case files do not show you finding the author of the design. All right, read on. The crew agrees to clean up after themselves. However, your partner, JV, is against the removal, citing public support for conservation. This leads to a debate in Precinct 41, which then spreads to the streets of Jamrock, ending in a rare plebiscite, organized by you and the rest of Row 3. The 9,000 people subjected to the mural's message, all of Lakeside, Central Jamrock, and Villalobos, plus half of the eminent domain, that's a great name for a neighborhood, participate in the vote. Although the case begins with what appears to be a lot of rumbling on the streets as to how juvenile and stupid the mural is, given a choice between its two options. Keep the mural. That's right. A staggering 78% of voters choose to keep it. Turns out the opposition were a loud minority, and that love truly is possible in the next world for new people. And it is too late for us. Centrist, fascist, ultra communist? Yeah, the middle class are not to be blamed. Yeah, it's human nature. Hey, did anyone ask you what you believe in, man with the smelly toilet ledger? Or what do you want to tackle next? Or are we done? The unsolvable case, aka Leslie and Burke, aka the public indecency drunk and the property damage drunk, is a cursed case. It has been passing from unsuspecting officer to unsuspecting officer for 10 years. On January 29th, the unsolvable case made its way to you. Why you accepted it is unclear. Every officer, and indeed most civilians in Jamrock, know it's unsolvable. You were so drunk you didn't remember what it was when you signed on. That, or you were high. Leslie will always take his pants off when he's drunk. Burke will always trash everything. It's just what they do. It's their nature. You can't change the nature of a man. And you can't lock him away because public indecency and small-scale property damage are not punishable by incarceration. The only way for Leslie to stop flashing his genitals to bypassers and for Burke to stop dismantling signage and rearview mirrors would be for them to stop drinking alcohol, which in their 40s or 50s is hard to tell because of their distorted features, is a medical improbability on par with you ceasing to produce the expression. Look, I have a 97% chance to cease producing the expression. I'm just choosing not to, thank you. Couldn't we just keep him off the streets? You would think that, but you're wrong. Where's the fun in exposing your genitals or breaking stuff in your own home? No. Leslie and Burke are on the corner of Main Street and Perdition because that's where the action is. Can you keep yourself off the streets? Threatening, fines, dragging him to the station, locking him up in the hellholes they live in, hypnotherapy, even trying to get a local gang of Zemliakis to take them out. The Zemliakis gave them ethanol, so Burke and Leslie would expose and rampage even harder. You tried it all, and still the complaints wouldn't stop, as they hadn't stopped for 10 years. It's plain to see from the files that you, Satellite Officer JV, and Special Consultant TH had more important cases to attend to. You uncover cross-references to several ongoing investigations, each one brought to a standstill, because every time you drive down Main Street, there they are, on the corner of Perdition. And what is Leslie doing? Public indecency. I was listening honest. Good, you're learning. If the file's to be trusted, that's all there is to it. That and Burke breaking things. And the fact that they're both drunk. But then again, so are you. The case becomes considerably less comic one day when Burke takes a swing at your ledger. He must have confused it with the property he likes to damage. But the joke's on him. The officer is also drunk. Way more drunk than Burke there. And let's be fair, you also have party eyes. You slam the hardened plastic board in his face, then proceed to beat him unconscious with it. In the process, the ledger sustains damage. The compartment within, reserved for permeable documents, is jammed shut. You stop your assault on the now unconscious Burke to open it, but are unable to do so. The officer began to cry, reports Leslie, who at this point is tending to Burke. Kill them. They broke it. He came at us, and at us. I think he was trying to kill Burko. While trying to kill Burko, you slowly come around. The permeables compartment is open. You've smashed it open on poor Burko's kneecaps. The good news is Burke can't walk anymore. What? Can't get out of his apartment. An invalid with Burke to tend to, Leslie cuts back on the indecent exposure. Maybe he flashes his genitals to Burke, who knows, but both drunks are off the streets. The complaints stop. The unsolvable case is solved. Which is also why the officer responsible narrowly escapes a disciplinary hearing. The end. Wow, I don't know I don't know about that. We're gonna actually, not that button. We're gonna get kicked out of our room. Get kicked out of it because it's not our room. See, I told you folks. Door was gonna be locked because we didn't pay for it. And then. Yeah, get out of here with that Revacol. Maybe I should have bought a book to mind the time. But I didn't. Alright. I like the nighttime music. It's subtle, it's eerie. It's also oddly hopeful. Oh, right, the trap. Weren't there a bunch of locusts in Kuno's place? Too dark. I don't remember where we're going. That helps. Hey, Lillian. How bad is our suggestion right now?
The waves are beginning to die down. Look at those little bastards. Simmer down, bastards.
Not very good. Suggestion is a psyche skill. I'll just take my Pure Holodon. Stares at the camera. I could still shave. It's... I don't like it. Especially not for our detective. Alright. Read a case file. Read a case file? Read a case file. The square bullet hole murders. It would be very interesting to read about these, wouldn't it? I mean, there seems to be a square-shaped entry wound in the victim's forehead. She's been sitting there for weeks, on her rocking chair with a square hole in her skull, staring at the wall, her mouth agape. But that's all you got. From the half hour you spent piecing it together, all you know is the entry wound was square-shaped. You never found the bullet. And then another body showed up, also with the square hole in the forehead. Toxicology showed the entry wound was laced with an incredibly potent psychoactive substance called HUV4-nil. No street name. A sequence killer? Who knows? Those pages are missing. What next? Don't worry. One day. Couch. Unexpected location. Some assholes brought their couch outside and hung out on it. In the middle of the street, on the roof, on the hillside, by the motorway, you know, at an unexpected location. They were young and they thought they looked cool on it. Yeah, you know what? They did kind of look like a rock band. Yeah, as you've said here, insufferable rock and roll assholes. Young people are the worst. So anyway, you gotta complain about the damn sofa or couch or whatever it was. They were leaving it out in all these unexpected and whimsical locations they took it to. Where they took it to, they also took photos of themselves on it, and smoked cigarettes and drank coffee because they felt it's intellectual. Cigarette butts, coffee cups, stupid couch. You had to clean it all up, and you did, so congrats to you. Case solved. Did I catch him? Nope. You didn't have time for that. These notes show that you have what is called a, let me check, a real goddamn job. You don't have time to be chasing down the couch assholes. You have a real job to do. What's next? Murder at the hookah parlor. Murder at the hookah parlor was a case originally assigned to an officer now called Joseph Mills, who is now dead. Of circumstances completely unconnected to the murder at the hookah parlor. But how? Beaten to a death by a throng of Villalobos gang members when him and his partner J.M., only initials mentioned, answered a call one night. It's a sad story, and it really isn't represented in your case files. Stop stalling and get to the murder at the hookah parlor. All right, fine. On with the murder. Joseph Mills was on this case that he just couldn't solve, was doing it solo. Why? Said it was a real nutcracker, real brain twister, was on it for like a month. The captain got impatient. Shit or get off the pot, Mills. Mills didn't get off the pot. Not yet. He kept at it for a couple of weeks more, racking his brains, running with every theory as outlandish as they seemed. Still couldn't solve the murder at the hookah parlor. Tough case, he said. Toughest he's ever had. Was he a good cop? No, he was awful. Awful sense of humor, too. The worst jokes you've ever heard. Really not cool, Joseph. Still, he'd been on it for months now. Said it was the final case. Said it was uncrackable, that the murderer had vanished into thin air. That goddamn hookah parlor was all he talked about. Go on. Okay, so the case is handed to you because Mills isn't getting anywhere, and you look into it. Here's the setup. A young man is found dead in a hookah parlor. You know, those places where you go and smoked bubblegum-flavored vapor all day. Can you get high off of it? Not exactly. No, it's soot and water vapor. It doesn't do anything. Look, bubblegum is not the only flavor, and it's an oddly enjoyable social experience, but not one that I expect to have until in the in the modern virus era. We'll just go with really cool. Yeah, really lame. What? That's not what I said. So anyway, young man in his 20s found with his skull busted open, right on the floor of the hookah parlor in the middle of the day. No one else is in there. Only client that day. In perfect health, too. Some kind of movie producer. No one enters, no one exits. He's just sucking on his watermelon hookah all morning, all noon, like he usually does. He's a regular. No calls, nothing, just sucking on the hookah until 15:45, then bam, he's dead on the floor. With his skull busted open, blood everywhere. What happened? How could it be? Mills has no idea. Invisible assassin, movie deal gone sour. Girl at the counter did it. Nothing fits. Eerie. Man just dropped dead. So you go to the parlor. You see cushions around the table. Table's low, heavy, really sharp edge. Yeah, he sucked hookah, stood up, passed out, hit his head on the table, and died, huh? See? You can't even read the thing without solving it. Yeah, it was that. Turns out hookah does something. It just turns off your brain's oxygen supply, and you don't notice it until you get up to go to the bathroom. You must have sucked a lot of it. Yeah, he liked the hookah. Stephen was his name. What was he doing there for 6 hours? Smoking a hookah, didn't you hear? I don't know, maybe trying to come up with a movie script, maybe? Anyway, that was murder at the hookah parlor. Joseph Mills wasn't a good detective, and about 30 minutes has passed piecing it together. Next. Wish there was one in here about a drug den. You love those. Yeah. Gets the blood pumping. No, you don't. You're a human measuring instrument, almost entirely intellectual. Do I have anything else I care about on here? I've already done that. Look, I already know. Sylvie told me I dunked it in the toilet. If you knew it was dunked in the toilet, why did you, before getting chucked in the trash, why are you sniffing it? Look, the option to sniff it was there, so you wanted to get in on the trash toilet stink collab, find out when those two get funky together? Okay, pal. Are you angry with me, Nose? Yeah. Turns out your nose doesn't like self-indulgent literal shift huffing. Can fucking surprise. Come on, no more. The ledger is going back down now. Away from your nose. No, we're doing it again. Because this is funny to me. Shut up, Nose. I don't need your help. I don't need anyone's help. Your nose does not understand what it did wrong. Look, I'm a policeman. This is police work. I'm just following the lead, you know? Torturing your own nose for no reason is not conducive to case cracking, bud. This is getting weird and hostile. Sorry, Nose. Let's just move on. Your nose is somewhere between grateful and resentful. I've got speed that sounds like a paint can, like spray paint. Booze and booze. All right. I could try to sort these, but that seems silly. I kind of want to sell these. I don't remember what they do, if much. Did that. I already know that. No. Can't get rid of that. Because the game won't let me. That's our badge. Alright. We are going to take a sleep. In the next video, because I'm sure there's going to be a dream attached. There's a button? Oh. I was hoping it did something. Alright, until then, folks. Until then.